Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Arts Talk Online. I'm your co-host Bill Roberts.
And I'm Jennifer Boudreau.
This is a show that's going to be 30 minutes in length, running each week on Wednesday nights. We wanted to do a show that talked just about arts. So we want to promote all arts, all genres. So music, filmmaking, acting, painters, writers, sculptors, anything that has to do with the arts in Alberta, we want to promote it. So we wanted to have this format to do it. So we'll be airing the show online on www.artstalkonline.com, and it'll also air on Facebook and on YouTube. And make sure that if you're watching tonight, it's November 23rd, Wednesday evening, a month away from Christmas.
I'm so excited for Christmas.
Have you done your shopping yet?
No.
No, neither have I. We'll also have live guests on the show. So each show will have a couple of guests, and we're opening this show tonight with Samantha King, a great singer-songwriter from Edmonton, and also Scott Campbell, a great tattoo artist. And I saw the tattoos this man has for his sleeves, and they are awesome. They're great. Do you have a tattoo?
Maybe.
Not one that you can I have one.
Not
I
one
can't
that
show
I
it
can
to you
talk
because it's on
about.
my arm, so I'm not going to disrobe to show you my tattoo.
Oh, okay.
So we have a lot to do in these shows. We're also going to have a couple of other segments. We're going to have a lady who's been in the television industry and film industry for over 30 years. Her name's Mary Lou Drachenberg. She's going to give us tips on acting, auditions, how to handle agents, and all sorts of fun things within the business, just so you have a better idea of what to do. And Lee Conrad, who is a local director and writer and I guess comic book artist also, improv artist. Lee is very knowledgeable about films, so he'll be doing some film reviews for us. Anything from any genre, really. So older films, newer films.
Yeah, he loves to talk about films a lot.
And this man can talk about films from years ago and recite scenes from films that I have no idea about or don't even remember. I might have seen the film, but can't remember the scene. And this guy can recite it.
A gift.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
A gift that I wish that I had, but I don't. So, Jennifer, what's going to be coming up soon with Mary Lou?
Well, today Mary Lou's going to be talking about training in theater, film. I think she's really excited about improv. She's going to talk about where you can go to get specific classes and which areas of training that you're looking for and who the instructors are that she recommends. So I'm really quite excited so that I can take some training also.
And you just recently finished a workshop, didn't you?
I did. I took Rana Fizecki's auditions workshop yesterday, actually, and it was fantastic. So I'm really quite looking forward to the next time she does a round so that I can take another class.
And that's one of the other things we'll talk about on the show too, is upcoming events, auditions that might be coming up, shows that are coming up, whether it be musicals, theatrical shows at the Citadel, all that kind of stuff we'll promote on here so you know what's happening within our city and, as I mentioned earlier, throughout Alberta. So if it's happening in Calgary or Drumheller or wherever, we'll try and get it on the show. So please let us know about that.
If you're interested in being either a guest on the show or you have an event or a project that you want to promote, you can email us at info@artstalkonline.com. Thanks.
Email us at info@artstalkonline.com. That's right.
Yes.
Or right now we have a temporary address that you can use, artstalkonline@shaw.ca. So we'll kind of put both up there right now, and if info will be the main one that we'll use. But please let us know. Yeah, if you have an event or anything you want to promote, that'll be great. Let's see what Mary Lou has to say.
Yes, Mary.
Thank you, Jen. Hi, I'm Mary Lou Drachenberg, and I'm here to talk to you about being successful as an actor in the film industry. I've been working in this industry for almost 30 years. And one of the things that I really have to tell you is what's really important is training. Proper training. I believe that having proper theater training is paramount. Having excellent instructors who will teach you about character development is paramount. But also, there's some really good improv classes. And I can tell you more times than not how an improv class has saved me in an audition. Many times in an audition, an actual casting director will actually ask you, "We like that, but can you do it again, but different?" And you kind of really need to be able to be prepared to jump and immediately change. And that's a very important skill. And there's some very good classes done by Rapid Fire Theater and Donovan Workin. Many of these people teach great classes. But when we get into film classes, Film classes are so important if you really want to be successful, to understand what you're doing in front of the camera, especially in an audition. The classes that I would highly recommend, and these are classes that I personally have taken at least twice, if not 3 times, by the different instructors I'm going to list for you right now. Peter Skagen's Audition Hell 1 and 2. Honestly, there are classes around, but this one really kind of teaches the actor what's really important about them, what makes them specifically unique, and really helps them to understand their specific niche. Sometimes we can look in a mirror, we really don't see what other people see, but his class and the fellow classmates really help that. And there's also a very good casting director that will be a part of the class. In the past, it's been Deb Green. Sometimes it's been other casting directors that are locally represented. There's also Rhonda Fazecki. Her class I've taken probably about 3 times, and she's an awesome casting director out of Calgary. Carmen Kodak teaches an exemplary class about how to understand what's going on in the scene. And Tom Logan is one of my favorite classes to bring in from LA. He comes in from LA and he teaches everything you really need to understand about what's going on before you even step into that audition room. Who's really making the choices? These are things that are really important. So get proper training. Dance, theater, film, improv. Improv, very, very, very important. And very good film classes around. Thank you very much for listening, and I look forward to hoping that you're going very successful in your acting career.
Thank you, Mary. I have taken actually a lot of the classes that she's recommended. Peter Skagen, one of my favorite instructors. He's so encouraging and really great. And Rhonda Fazecki's class also is the one that I just recently took. So I'm excited to hear that I'm on the right track.
That's awesome. Yeah, great advice from Mary for sure. So if you're new to the business and are trying to get into it and looking for ways to get into it, yeah, awesome points from Mary Lou for sure.
Yes. Who's our first guest?
Samantha King. Coming up, Samantha King, who's a great singer-songwriter locally here in the Edmonton area, will be joining us on set in the next 30 seconds or so. So please stand by. You want to hear what Samantha's got to say. She's got a lot of neat things coming up. And I also hear from the rumor mill, I think officially now, she is the anthem singer for the Edmonton Oilers.
Free
Awesome. She'll be on set in a couple minutes. And welcome back. You're watching Arts Talk Online with Bill Roberts. My co-host Jennifer Boudreau has stepped off set for a minute or two so we could bring on our very first guest on the premiere show, Samantha King.
Hello.
How are you, Sam?
I'm doing well.
Awesome to
How
have
are you, Bill?
I'm doing really good. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Now, I understand you've been singing for a long time.
I have been.
You
yeah,
won
13 years.
you won the Canadian Finals Rodeo Country Vocal Spotlight in 1998 at the age of 13.
13.
So were you
Yeah.
performing before that?
I actually had just started, and it was my aunt, my mother's sister, who had told me that I should enter this competition. And at first I thought, I'm too nervous. I don't think I should do this, because I'd only been singing for school concerts and that. And I entered it, and I happened to win. And then all of a sudden it was like, well, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so it totally changed. And from that point on, I've just been busy. Yeah.
That's great.
It's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
And you've had some national airplay since then. I understand you've got a CD that you did back in 2003 called This Is Forever.
Yep, that's right.
And that did really well. And you've also been nominated 3 years in a row for a Canadian Country Music Award. Is that right?
Yeah. I was nominated for Chevy Checks Rising Star Award, and then for Female Vocalist of the Year. So that was pretty cool. Those years were very busy and some of the best years of my life. I had so many opportunities to work with some really great artists and share the stage with people like Keith Urban and Winona Judd and Shania Twain, and it was those were the good times. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And you also won. This is kind of neat. You also won the John Lennon songwriting competition.
Yeah, it's actually a really long title. I was the grand prize winner for the John Lennon songwriting competition in the country music category for session 1. So there's a lot of different points you can reach in that competition. But it was really cool, and I won a golden, a beautiful blue acoustic guitar from them. So it was really, really cool. And I was on a cruise ship when that happened, so I didn't even get to see the guitar until 7 months later. It was pretty sweet. It was a surprise.
Well, that kind of brings me into two things, actually,
Yeah.
because I remember, about a year or so ago, you were learning to play the guitar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how's that going?
That's going all right. I'm one of those, I don't know what it is. I tend to be more excited about singing, and I'm such a procrastinator, and I've always kind of felt like when I'm on stage, I want to be the best at what I'm doing, and so for me it's like I want to leave the guitar playing to the people that are the best at that. And until I'm at that point where I feel like I can go up there and play along with them, I'll stick to singing. I'll bring my guitar in for songwriting sessions and stuff.
And one other thing that you did mention, actually, cruise ship. Now, you
Yeah.
performed on a cruise ship for, was it 7 months?
Did, yes.
And how was that?
It was one of the best experiences of my life. When I think back on it, it felt like it was a totally different life from everything that I know. I was in rehearsals for a month in Florida, and I had left actually during a blizzard in here in Alberta. It was incredible. I was actually in Calgary when I'd taken off, and there's a certain point in Calgary they have palm trees right outside this hotel I was staying at. So I'm seeing these palm trees blowing, in this blizzard, and then I get to Florida and I get to see the palm trees. Oh, and that's the life I lived for 7 months. I was in the Caribbean, and it was beautiful, and there was so much creative expression. I'd stick around in the theater, like 1,000 or more seats, and just sing until 5 in the morning and songwrite, and it was amazing. And I got to sing for a new crowd, every night.
That's
so it was
great.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, rumor has it that you have officially taken over the job of Paul Laurier and are now the anthem singer for the Edmonton Oilers.
I am.
Congratulations!
Thank you. It's really exciting. It's something that I've done. I've covered for Paul in the past on different games, and actually this year, before I'd even known that I was given the position, I did about 12 games in the spring. So it was pretty sweet, and so I'm really excited about it. And I'm doing 41 games, but I'm already missing 5 of them because I'm going on a Christmas tour. So
And
they're gonna get mad at me.
tell us that really quick. We're running out of time, but you're going on tour December 7th.
I am. I'm on the Canadian Country Christmas tour that's put on by Sean Hogan, and we'll be going all over Alberta and BC, so I'm really excited about that.
And where can people get tickets, any of that kind of stuff?
You can go to CanadianCountryChristmas.com, and they talk about all the different venues and where you can phone in. So it's a great cause, and they benefit a whole bunch of different kinds of charities in the area. So it's going to be great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Samantha King, so excited to have had her as our very first guest. Make sure you get out to see her perform, whether you see her sing the anthem at the Oilers game or get out to one of her shows, get out and see her. She is a fantastic performer and singer. Thank you so much, Sam, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks. We'll be right back.
Wow, Samantha King is so lovely. It was really exciting to have her as our first guest, and I cannot wait to see her sing the anthem at the next Oilers game that I make it to.
She's got such a fantastic voice. It's just so powerful.
Yes.
So let's talk about what's coming up around town.
Yes.
Walterdale, for those actors out there that want to get on stage, or you might have done some work at the Walterdale before. They've got some auditions coming up on December 4th and 5th for a show called The Love of Nightingale. It's being directed by Alex Hawkins, and it's an ensemble play, and it has substantial roles for 8 to 9 women and 8 to 9 men of various ages. They need from a young boy up to an older man, and for the females from a teenage girl all the way up to older women, and many roles in between. So if you want to, I've done a few shows at the Walterdale. It's a great venue. It's nice and intimate. So if you want to do a show there, or want to do an audition, on the 4th or the 5th, contact Janet McLean. That's janet.mclean@shaw.ca, or call her at 780-244-5472. You don't have to prepare anything for the audition. It'll be a cold read when you get there.
Awesome. And for you film actors that are hopeful and excited for the winter, there are a couple of independent projects that will be auditioning in January, and we'll release more details closer to the date when a venue has been chosen for that. Awesome.
All sorts of events happening. Also, just to let you know, Christmas Carol gets underway at the Citadel. Starts December 2nd, runs till December 23rd. And another show actually coming up at the Walterdale, The Weird Sisters, runs from November 30th to December 10th. So again, if you have an event or anything coming up, please make sure that you contact us at info@artstalkonline or at artstalkonline at shaw.ca, so we can get it on the show, or if you want to come and talk about it, we want to get it on the show for sure.
And speaking of shows, I think we have a movie review coming up.
We do. As I mentioned at the top of the show, Lee Conrad, who is an actor, director, cartoon writer, Lee will do some film reviews, and I think he is doing a review on the Muppet movie. Let's send it over to Lee.
Thanks, guys. Now, a new Muppet movie is opening today, Disney's The Muppets. Now, I haven't had a chance to actually see this film yet, but I figured it might be fun to actually take a look back at the original Muppet movie from 1979. This film you can get on DVD if you're lucky. It's been out of circulation for a little while, but you may also be able to find it on Netflix or possibly on video on demand. And I would highly recommend you do so. It's a fantastic film. It's Jim Henson at the top of his game. Directed by James Frawley and co-written by Jerry Jewell. The film maintains the magic that we all loved about the Muppet Show from back in the day. It depicts the story of how the Muppets got together, from Kermit's humble beginnings down in the swamp and his trek across America in order to make it to Hollywood so that he can get the standard rich and famous contract. I really wish it was that easy, but it's a fantasy film for all intents and purposes, and it's a great family film as well. No profanity here, no lewd jokes. It's all done in good fun, and there's plenty of stuff there for the adults in order to enjoy, with cameos by stars of the time like Mel Brooks, Madeline Kahn, Telly Savalas, Paul Williams, who also wrote the music for the movie, which is incredibly catchy. Everybody knows the Rainbow Connection, as well as I'm Going to Go Back There Someday. And not to mention, Orson Welles makes one of his last film appearances here. Not the last, but an important one nonetheless. So, Jim Henson and Frank Oz are on the top of their game with this movie. If you enjoyed the likes of Abbott and Costello or Laurel and Hardy, or just that great banter between two great performers, this is a movie for you. Performing Kermit and Fozzie back and forth, the road trip, it turns into a buddy picture at that point, road trip buddy picture. It works on so many different levels. Technically, the film is shot beautifully, and it had a great advancement in the world of puppetry and practical visual effects. There's a scene where we actually see Kermit riding a bicycle, and there's nothing else there to show that, hey, he's matted in or something like that. He's actually there doing it. I challenge you to have a look to see how they did it. It's a heartwarming story as well, just from all the characters that he gets to meet as he meets each subsequent character we know from the Muppets. When he meets Fozzie Bear, when he meets Dr. Teeth in the Electric Mayhem, which is hysterical because no one would ever expect him to find them in a church. Then you've also got his meeting with Gonzo and Ralph the dog and, of course, Miss Piggy. The whole time they're being chased down by this guy by the name of Doc Hopper, who runs a French fried frog legs chain of restaurants, and he wants Kermit to be his spokesman. Of course, Kermit won't do it, but by the end of the film, they have to have a final showdown, and that's where the heart of the film really comes to light, with its big message of living out your dream, and that's really the most important thing coming out of this movie. It's a fantastic film, and I highly recommend it to anybody who's a lover of puppetry, fantasy, movies, comedy, whichever. You do yourself a favor and watch this film either before or after the new Muppets film, and you'll understand why the Muppets will never, ever go away.
Thank you, Lee. Great. I forgot all about that Muppets movie, actually, but now that I've heard Lee talk about it, I think I'm going to go get the DVD and watch it.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm a Muppets fan. I do like the Muppets. All right, coming up, our next guest on the show, Scott Campbell.
I'm really excited. We have Scott Campbell, who's one of the owners of the Atomic Zombie Tattoo Parlor. He's here to talk to us about his upcoming charity event, which we will give you more details about in a few seconds when he comes on to join me. Hi, welcome back. My name is Jennifer Boudreau, and we are with Scott Campbell from Atomic Zombie. I'm very excited. He's here to talk to us today about his charity event starting on November 27th called A Nightmare for Christmas. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we wound up calling it A Nightmare for Christmas just because it was a little bit of a nightmare to organize. It's a charity art show and fashion show kind of combined. We try and focus on trying to get all the local tattoo shops to participate, as many as we can. And we have a little over 100 submissions this year as far as original artwork is concerned.
Wow, like 100 different artists, or just
100 different paintings and sculptures, and lots of really cool stuff to look at.
Well, that's really exciting. So what are some of the highlights about the events? I heard a rumor that there's a drinking and drawing competition of sorts.
There is. It's not really a competition, more than just a fun way to get us all together. The artists are basically going to have 2 hours with a theme that they're not going to find out about until right before the event begins.
Can you tell me the theme right now?
No, it's a secret.
Okay.
They're going to have mandatory shots that they have to do at the beginning and every 20 minutes through there. And if someone buys one of the artists one of their preferred drinks, they get a ticket for our prize draw at the end of the day. We've got well over $1,000 worth of prizes that we're going to be giving away from local businesses, gift certificates and merchandise. So there's some really neat stuff in there.
Fantastic. Which charity are we supporting?
The proceeds go to the Edmonton Food Bank.
Okay.
And you can, if you'd like to bring a perishable food item, there is going to be boxes there. The tickets are $15, and it starts at 7 o'clock on November 27th. It's a Sunday night, and it runs until midnight.
Perfect. And you said earlier that this was the 4th time that you've done this event?
Yeah, we've done this every year for the last 4 years, and we've kind of tried to give it an unofficial theme that's a little bit movie-oriented. Last year was our 3rd event, and it was A Nightmare for Christmas Part 3 in 3D. So this year, in keeping with that, we're calling it Encounters of the Fourth Kind. And it's kind of serves as an unofficial theme for, the art and stuff like that, and the entertainment. So.
Fantastic. Tell us a little bit about the entertainment.
We got a lot going on. For one, there is going to be a fashion show. It's also artists. It's local designers that we get to become involved, and it's being hosted this year by Sweet Carousel Corsets. I believe there's 6 designers, and that's going to be running all night. In between that, we also have Capital City Burlesque is going to do 3 sets.
Oh, very nice.
And as a honorarium, a little surprise thing, Firefly Theatre is going to do a couple of performances from the roof of the TransAlta Art Barns.
Wow. That sounds really fun.
It sounds interesting. I've never seen exactly what they do, so I'm pretty excited to.
That'll be really fun.
See it.
So tickets are $15, and they can be picked up at the door or beforehand. Where can you get them before?
Well, you can get them at Atomic Zombie, or actually most of your local tattoo shops that are participants will have tickets available. So just phone your local shop and ask them.
Fantastic. That's really exciting. What are your goals for this event? Have you set like a certain amount that you're trying to raise?
Well, we usually try and raise at least a couple $1,000, for the food bank. The main focus of the night is to bring, our little local tattoo shop art community together, and kind of provide just a venue for some of our art. A lot of it's not necessarily traditional, what you'd think of seeing at a regular art show.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Scott. I know that I will be attending for sure November 27th at the TransAlta Arts Barn. That's a tongue twister. $15. Pick up your ticket at Atomic Zombie or participating tattoo shops in Edmonton. And I look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you again, Scott. If you want more information on the event, you can check out their website, www.anfc.ca. And something really exciting too, there's a band that's going to be playing at the event, No Heat Tomorrow, so I'm really quite excited to see them. And I think they're playing throughout the evening in between the different shows and events, so
yeah, it sounds like
exciting.
a fantastic night for sure. And by the way, I do have a tattoo, as I think I mentioned earlier, because I think I left saying I don't have. I do have one.
You do.
So,
That's right.
but
Maybe I'll get my first one there. We'll see.
and I think that would be great. And another segment for the show. Jennifer
pain
gets
tolerance.
a tattoo.
No.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got
know.
it. The one other thing that's I think really important about that event that Scott mentioned is the fact that they are supporting the food bank as their charity, and being
Yes.
that Christmas is coming up soon, that is a charity for sure that needs your support. So we'll put up their website address too for the food bank. So if you do have any non-perishable items that you would like to donate and maybe can't get to the show on the 27th, get out to the food bank yourself and drop
Yes.
some things off. So just quickly, this has been the first episode of artstalkonline.com. It's been so much fun,
Thank
and we're
you.
so excited to have had the opportunity to do this. We're looking forward to the upcoming shows and upcoming guests. Coming up, I think, on next week's show, we've got Jack Cooper from Cooper Studios, and I
Yes.
believe a young gentleman by the name of J.D. Buzz, who is a local filmmaker and is making some pretty strong waves in the film community here
Very
in
excited.
the Edmonton area. So Jennifer, what do you
Bill?
think? It's been great.
It's been awesome. Have a great week, and we look forward to you tuning in again on November 30th. Thank you.
Make sure you get everybody watching. We want the viewership to grow. www.artstalkonline.com. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week. Have a great week.